Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to learn how to add and subtract mixed numbers. And it's super easy because we don't know how to add and subtract mixed numbers, but we do know how to add and subtract fractions. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to change these mixed numbers into improper fractions. Do you remember how to do that? Let's see. First, we have 3 and 1/4, and we need to change it into an improper. So we're going to multiply 3 times 4, and then we're going to add the numerator that is 1. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1, 13. I'm going to write it down in front, 13. And the denominator, it's always the same, so we're going to write 4, 13 over 4. Plus the second fraction in which we have 2 and 1/2. So we're going to multiply 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So it is 5, and the same denominator, which is half, 5 halves. So now we have two fractions, and now the process, you already know them. These two fractions are unlike fractions, so we need to make them like. So you need to find the LCM, the least common multiple between 4 and 2. Remember that you can do it mentally or you can do the process. I'm going to do the process for you just in case, but I know that you know how to do it mentally. You need to find the smallest the smallest multiple between 4 and 2. So 4 and 2, both numbers are divisible by 2. 4 divided 2 is 2. 2 divided 2 is 1. Now we have 2 and 1. The 2 is divisible by 2. And 2 divided 2 is 1. We multiply these two numbers. 2 times 2 is 4. So the LCM is 4. So that means that our denominator in our addition is going to be 4, right? This part of the process, you already know it. I'm just doing it so that you remember the process, okay? Now, let's do another color so that you remember this part. Now you need to think, which number did I use to multiply 4 to become a 4? Which number did I use to multiply 2 to become a 4? So, which number did I use to multiply 4 to become 4? 4 times 1, right? So 13 times 1 is 13. And now the other one, 2 times what is 4? 2 times 2, right? So I multiply 5 times 2, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now the rest of the process is super, hyper, mega easy, and it's this one. We're gonna add the numerators, 13 plus 10 is 23, and remember that we never ever add the denominators. So if the denominator is 4, in the answer, the denominator is gonna be 4. Now that is the answer, but it's not quite the final answer. What's wrong with this fraction? It's an improper fraction, right? And remember that we cannot give answers as improper fractions. But also, we always need to simplify if we can. So think, can you find a number to simplify 23 and 4? Can you find a number that can divide 23 and 4? No, right? So that means it's already in the simplest form. So now we are just gonna change it into a mixed number. Do you remember how to do it? You need to ask yourself, how many times 4 fit in 23? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 5 times, right? And now what is left? From 20 to 23, we have 3 numbers left, and the denominator is 4. And now, just in case, once you change it into a mix, check if you cannot simplify the fraction. 3 and 4. Can you find a number to simplify 3 and 4? No, right? So that means that this is already your final answer. So basically, the process is exactly the same as adding normal fractions, proper or improper fractions. What's the only new step? You need to change the mixed numbers into improper fractions. And then you just follow the same steps that you already know. Let's see how it works with subtraction. So we have two mixed numbers. So in this case, we're going to change them into improper fractions. So 5 times 3 plus 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2, 17. And the denominator stays the same, so it's 3. Let me do it in the right, so we do it exactly the same as the other video. So it's 17 over 3. Good. Minus, don't forget to write the sign. And we have 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1, 13, over 4. Now, we need to add, right? So we need to find the least common multiple between 3 and 4, which is 12. In case you don't know how to do it, I'm going to do it right here. So one number is divisible by 2. 3 divided 2 is not possible, so I bring the 3 down. 4 divided 2 is 2. I can divide by 2 again. 3 divided 3 is not possible. 2 divided 2 is 1. And now I divide by 3, which is 1. I multiply these. 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12, right? So we know that the common denominator is 12. And now you need to do the part of multiplying the fractions, the initial fraction. So 3 times what is 12? 3 times 4, right? So 17 times 4. Let's say you don't know because it's a really, really, really big operation. So you do it. You know how to multiply, right? So I'm going to do it here. 17 times 4. 4 times 7 is 28. 8. And I take 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. 68. If you don't know that method, you can always use as well the box method to multiply, okay? So we have 68 twelves. And the second one is 4 times what is 12? 4 times 3 is 12. And 13 times 3 is 39. Again, if you don't know how to do it, you can always do the multiplication. Now we can do the easy part. The easy part is just to subtract the numerators. 68 minus 39, I don't know what that is, but I can find it. I'm going to do it here. 68 minus 39. 8 minus 9 is not possible. This turns into a 5. 18 minus 9 is 9. 5 minus 3 is 2, 29. 29 over 12. And that's already the answer, but it's not quite the final answer, right? So can we simplify this fraction? Well, not because 29 is a prime number. So there is no common factor between 12 and 29. And what else can I change in this fraction? It's an improper fraction, right? So I need to change it into a mixed number. How many times 12 fit in 29? Twice, because 12 times 2 is 24, right? And from 24 to 29, we have 5 numbers left, and the denominator is the same. And as I already told you, check again. 5 and 12. Can I simplify 5 and 12? No, 5 is only divisible by 5. 12 is divisible by 1, 3, 4, and 12. So they don't have common factors. That means that this is your final answer. There are 2 more exercises that I want to show you that are what happens if we have to add or subtract a fraction with a whole number. So let's do one of those for you to understand better. Let me see. Let's do one exercise. Let's do, for example, 6 minus 2 and 1/3. So in this example, you have a mixed number and improper fraction. There's one thing that you don't quite know that I'm going to explain to you, and it's that every time you have a whole number, that whole number can be turned into a fraction just by putting a 1 below. So for example, if I have 3 and I want to change it into a fraction, I just do this. If I have a 2 and I want to change it into a fraction, I just do this. Yes. If I have a 5 and I want to turn it into a fraction, 5 over 1. If I have 17 and I want to turn it into a fraction, over 1. So all the whole numbers in the world can be turned into a fraction just by adding a 1 below. In this case, let's turn both fractions into improper fractions. So the first one is a 6. As you already know, it's going to be 6 over 1. And the second one is a mixed number that we're going to change into a fraction in a very, very easy way, just multiplying 2 times 3 plus 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, over 3. And I know what you're thinking. 6, 7, yes, I know. This is always after me. Okay, so there, we already have both fractions. We can already do the process. So LCM between 1 and 3. 3, right? If you don't know how to do it, you just do this. One number is divisible by 3, that is this one, and that's it, just 3. So 3 and 3. Now you go to the first fraction. 1 times what is 3? 1 times 3, right? So we put a 3 here, and 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times what is 3? 3 times 1, so 7 times 1 is 7. And now we just have to subtract. So 18 minus 7 is 11 over 3. And you think, can we simplify? No, we cannot. In none of the exercises we simplified. That's so sad. Okay, but we cannot simplify, but it's an improper fraction. My answer cannot be an improper fraction, so I have to do this. 3 in 11 fits 369, fits 3 times. From 9 to 11, we have 2 numbers. and the denominator is 3. And that's it. We finish. I hope that you understood. Bye, ladies.